Hello, welcome to our video. Can you please tell us what your name is and how you are linked to Alexander MacLeod?
Oh, hello. My name is Maureen McPherson and I'm Lauren Binks's grandmother, and I went to school at Alexander MacLeod.
Okay, so where did you grow up and where did you go to school?
I was living in Blithedale Road in Abbey Wood with the family, and I went to school at 5 at Alexander MacLeod.
How many years ago did you go to Alexander MacLeod?
I started there 75 years ago. It seems an awful long time.
So you would have been 5 years old, is that right?
5 years old, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What uniform did you wear at school?
As far as I can remember, we didn't wear a uniform at all. We just wore our ordinary clothes.
So when you went to Alexander MacLeod, what kind of games did you play on the playground?
My favourite was throwing the ball up the wall very high and then trying to jump over it when it came back. We also played things like rounders or like a softball game. I quite enjoyed that sort of thing, yeah.
Has Abbey Wood changed much since you were little?
It's changed an awful lot. All the high-rise flats that are going up now, obviously they weren't there. The Royal Arsenal owned most of the land, so there weren't any houses or flats built on it then. Where Morrison's is in Thamesmead, all that was like a marshy ground, like a wet, boggy ground, so they couldn't build on that then. It's just a huge difference to what it used to be.
So what kind of public transport did you have in Abbey Wood when you went to Alexander MacLeod?
I can't remember if there were trams in those days, or my first recollection really is of trolley buses, and they used to run on overhead lines that sometimes broke down. Yeah, very different to what we know now, and of course there wasn't the amount of traffic on the roads in those days.
Why was there not so much traffic?
Because people didn't have cars. Yeah, cars didn't really come into things until mainly the 60s and people getting cars.
So one final question, what is the main change you have seen in Abbey Wood now compared to 75 years ago when you went to school there?
The amount of people that live here now, just Alexander MacLeod School, they've had to extend for so many more children going there. But I think that applies to almost anywhere.
So when you were at school, how many children were in your class?
I'd say probably about 30.
But there weren't as many classes in the school?
No, definitely not.
And not as many people living in Abbey Wood?
No, it was more like more villagey than it is now. Yeah. Right. Well, thank you for listening, children. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.